Hi and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be looking at what are their hidden thoughts and secret feelings about you and the connection. And before we get started, I wanted to make an announcement that I'm now offering video readings for purchase through my Etsy shop. There's a link in the description box of the video for my Etsy shop, or you can also find it in the About section of my channel page here on YouTube. These are pre-recorded readings that will be sent to you in the form of a link to a private YouTube video, so you can rewatch the reading as many times as you like. The turnaround time on these video readings is 3 to 5 days from the time of purchase. I do still have written readings available in my Etsy shop, but I am phasing out of doing the written readings, so there's a limited quantity of those available, and when they sell out, they're gone. I'm not going to be renewing those listings. I will, however, continue to offer channeled love letters in the format and with the 72-hour turnaround time that is already established with those. So those are sent as a written reading, as a PDF file that is emailed to you again within 72 hours of the time of purchase. So currently there are now 3 options if you want to get a private reading with me. There are, I think, like 8 different listings that I put up for the video readings, so a variety of topics. I have a few more that I'm going to be adding in the next few weeks. There are also a few of the written readings still remaining in my Etsy shop, and then there are the channeled love letters as well. So if you're interested in checking any of that out, getting a private reading with me, links in the description box of the video or in the About section of my channel page. So as far as this reading here is concerned, there are 3 groups to choose from. Group 1 is the Rose Quartz, along with these cards. Group 2 is the Clear Quartz, along with these cards. And Group 3 is the Blue Calcite, along with these cards. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to. I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you'd like to jump ahead, which I do recommend using so that you can skip over me shuffling cards in between groups to clear the energy of the group I've just read for and tap into the energy of the group I'm about to read for. So again, I'll give you a minute. Please use the timestamps and we'll get into your reading. Hi, Group 1. You chose the Rose Quartz, along with these cards, which I'll start with to get an idea about what are their hidden thoughts and secret feelings about you and the connection. So we've got the Fool, which is Aries energy. Knight of Pentacles, which is Earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Nine of Cups, which is water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. Three of Cups, so more water energy. Ancestors. Awakening. Here and Now. Observer. Snake Spirit, Time to Heal. And Rabbit Spirit, Now is a Lucky Time. So this is somebody who still has some pretty deep feelings for you. If it has been a while since you have seen them, since you've spoken to them, if you've been in some kind of a no contact or separation situation, or if this person is currently in your life, but maybe they've been holding back, they've been a little emotionally distant. Maybe this is somebody who hasn't ever declared their feelings for you. They're harboring a lot inside of them. There's a sense of a glow which they have when they are in your presence, that they feel very capable. They feel that they are able to take on the world almost. You bring to them a sense of confidence, a sense of capability that they don't ordinarily have within themselves. This could be somebody who kind of sort of struggles with self-confidence with the Fool here. Somebody who might be a little bit overly cautious in kind of the risks that they take in life, including declarations of love that they make or ways in which they really express their emotions. But there's a feeling that they have with you of being able to almost conquer the world, to take on anything, to take on any challenge. You make them feel very brave. And this could be quite a contrast to how they feel ordinarily in their life. Again, that energy of kind of the novice, to where there's a little bit of hesitation. There's hesitation to step outside of that comfort zone, to step into that space of bravery, to declare their feelings, to step forth in the direction of where their heart is leading them. But nevertheless, they feel very beckoned by you. They feel very awakened by you in terms of what is possible for themselves in their life, what is possible in love, what is possible in partnership, in a relationship with another. This is something where, again, if this is someone you are in kind of a no contact or separation situation from, with Here and Now and Knight of Pentacles, these are feelings that this person has continued to harbor for you. With the Nine of Cups, these things have only grown with time. You've sparked something within them. You've awakened them to kind of a new understanding of what love can be, of the power of love that is of a magnitude that is greater than they had imagined or experienced before. With this Observer, this is really talking about kind of that Page of Swords energy. So somebody who is watching you from afar, or even daydreaming or thinking about being bold, taking that decisive action towards you, making some kind of a declaration, maybe extending some kind of an invitation to get together with one another. Or if this is someone that you haven't seen in a while, you're kind of at odds with, this can really be that energy of an apology with the Snake Spirit, and this reference to time to heal. Somebody who wants to kind of mend fences with you. Somebody who really wants to kind of smooth out whatever difficulties you have faced. With this idea of ancestors, this can talk about something that occurred in the past. Maybe with that Fool, also a false start, a connection that never really got off the ground, some kind of a missed opportunity that they really have been dwelling on, and it's been filling them with this sense of regret, this sense of longing. They've not been able to shake you, to shake this urge, this thing that has been awakened within them. It's almost like now that heart center activation even, or that kind of perception of the depth and nature of what is possible in connection with another person, now that has been awakened, there is no kind of closing that off again. You continue to occupy this space within them, within their heart, kind of no matter where they move in their life or in the world. maybe they travel for work even, or you find yourselves at a physical distance. You're still with them in a very tangible sense. You're never far from their mind. You are always in their heart. They may be seeing a lot of signs and even kind of reminders of you in the here and now. That is helping them to, again, kind of keep that heart chakra open. It is helping them to, bring that awareness, that constant awareness back to that heart center, back to that truth and that reality of how unique this connection is, how deep these feelings are for you, this pervasive sense of satisfaction that they have when they think about you, a desire to move toward or to return to the harmony and kind of the joyous times that the two of you shared together, with this idea of a time to heal, and then also that it's a lucky time with the rabbit spirit and observer. This can be somebody who's really planning some kind of move towards you, maybe planning on reaching out with an apology or some kind of an invitation, something with the Knight of Pentacles that is a long time in coming, somebody who wants a fresh start, who may be finally at a place within their life, emotionally speaking, or even in terms of some lessons that they had to learn, some life experience that they needed to really get under their belt to be able to step more fully into this connection, to take a chance where in the past they hesitated. They're starting to really move into that space of almost believing and recognizing that sense of capability that they feel in your presence, that they might have really doubted originally, that might have been very contrary to kind of that sense of insecurity that they have had maybe for a while or for kind of all of their life. There's a sense of you really helping this person to almost grow up in a way. Something that they might have really been resisting, or they weren't sure that they were ready for that, for this very mature relationship, regardless of biological years or how much experience the two of you have in love and relationships. You may have been people that were married before, have been divorced, or have had multiple long-term relationships, but there's something about this connection, about the nature of this, that is a more mature love. It's a more mature experience or sensation of emotion than they have been accustomed to. There's a past life connection that they sense with you as well, with this ancestor card, a sense of familiarity with you, a sense of knowing that might not be so easily explained to them, but remains with them, that the two of you have not crossed paths by accident, that it has not just been out of sheer luck or chance that the two of you have really encountered one another, but that it almost feels very divinely orchestrated. They are awakening to that, maybe to some deeper spiritual concepts, or even starting to question and observe sort of the beliefs that they have had about kind of the nature of life, the purpose of life, their own purpose. In some way, this connection or the feelings that you have sparked or awakened within them is also helping this person to make some decisive moves in the direction of kind of their higher calling or their higher purpose, or causing them to kind of go inside and really explore that, to really investigate that, to see what in their life is in alignment with that true soul satisfaction and happiness. What have they come here into this lifetime to accomplish? Is that in line with whatever it is that they are participating in, whatever they're doing for work, where they're living, the people that they are investing their time and energy into? Or are there things that are needing to kind of fall away, a new direction that is needing to be moved in, taking a chance on some dreams that they may have kind of turned their back on in the interest of more practical matters? All of this is kind of something that you inspire almost without meaning to within this person. They feel very fortunate to know you and to have crossed paths with you in this lifetime, again, regardless of what has kind of happened or has not happened in this situation. If this is kind of a false start energy, or if this is something where you're in separation from one another, there's a sense of being very grateful and very fortunate to have known you and to have encountered you. You've impacted their life substantially. You have helped to spark this awakening within this person, a shedding of the old skin so that they can step into kind of this new phase or the next evolution in their life. And there is a desire to grow with you, to kind of nurture the seeds that have been awakened within the two of you, a desire to move back in your direction. Somebody who's observing and kind of, testing the waters, maybe almost energetically or in subtle ways, maybe even just extending kind of the energies of friendship towards you as kind of a prelude to these deeper emotional intimacies that they want to express and experience and explore with you. But you stir something within them, you stir something within their heart, and you make them really, again, feel that they can conquer the world, or that they they are on top of the world. They feel very proud to be in your presence. And if this is a circumstance where there is distance or separation, they are missing that. They're feeling that something is really lacking. They maybe have been looking around, trying to fill that void in other ways, through other relationships or distractions with, concentrating on work, trying to immerse themselves in work in order to sort of dull out these feelings or ignore these feelings, maybe spending time with friends or family as a way to kind of distract themselves from kind of these deep and pervasive emotions that they have for you, but they've been unsuccessful in that attempt. And so this is somebody who has surrendered to this very present and pervasive feeling that you are always in their heart, that you follow them wherever they go in life. And there's a desire now to kind of allow life to sort of take them back in your direction. Somebody who is kind of moving into that brink of wanting to take some kind of decisive action, make some kind of a declaration, open their heart more to you, or, kind of approach with this energy and some kind of a declaration of a fresh start, wanting to know if you can start over, rebuild as friends, or wanting to spend more time with you on that kind of platonic level, so that, the seeds between you have a chance to very much germinate in an organic way. Somebody who doesn't just want to remain friends, doesn't just want to stay in that friend zone, but wants to really allow this connection to blossom and awaken and bloom into a deeper level of intimacy, into the realm of romance, to kind of step beyond those bounds of friendship ultimately, and kind of allow, again, that love, the potential of that love to fully blossom between the two of you, or to really re-spark or reawaken that between the two of you once again. So I'm going to get some messages from their higher self now, group 1, and see what do they want you to know at this time. Okay, and they say, I'm just healing. Please don't take it personal. So that's a confirmation there of that message here in the snake card about time to heal. And a lot of maybe sort of issues of insecurity that this person has needed to sort of deal with, kind of face their own shadow in order to step into that energy of courage, in order to take a chance on love, to recognize their worth and their own value. They may have, to some degree, been putting you on some kind of a pedestal as well, with that observer energy and kind of the distance there with this little fox with his telescope looking at the moon. They see you as a very mysterious person, as a very, radiant person, as somebody almost very unattainable in a sense. That has been an issue for them in the past, where they really were questioning, if they were capable of kind of meeting you at your level, questioning if what they had to offer you was sufficient enough to really garner your interest or keep your interests long term. If this was something that they would be able to sustain in terms of that level of emotional openness that you display. And so these are all kind of issues of inadequacy that they've been needing to heal within themselves, and that healing journey is almost bringing them in a spiral back around to you, back to that starting point, or that crossroads, or maybe a chance wasn't taken in the past, or that so a different decision can be made. Somebody who chose to walk away is now choosing to walk back towards you. And they also say, please don't leave me, stay. So again, that energy of changing direction. Somebody who's running is now running back towards you, has changed their mind in some way. Somebody who might have been kind of emotionally avoidant is now facing these things within themselves, is kind of going through this process of kind of releasing childish things, or, these feelings of inadequacy, these fears, maybe a lot of the overwhelm at the depth and nature of this connection. Even if this is somebody, that has had several substantial relationships or has been married before, kind of the nature of this, the maturity of this, the elevated vibration of what is possible and what is generated between the both of you might have been very overwhelming for them and caused them to almost recoil out of fear fear of the intensity. With this rabbit spirit, this is really bringing to mind somebody whose, heart would be racing in your presence, something beyond butterflies. It almost would set in, this velocity, this very powerful Kundalini awakening. Literally, a Kundalini awakening may have occurred with snake spirit, an awakening that could have been very overwhelming for this person, and kind of their coping mechanism was to sort of just close off or move away or be kind of emotionally distant. But they're starting to acclimate to that. They are starting to really become more comfortable with that, and to recognize kind of the pervasiveness, the safety that they feel in your presence, and this desire to move back towards you, to step back into the light of this connection rather than continuing to entertain shadows and fear and distance. They also say, I want to be with you. I choose you. I love you. So this might be the nature of what they want to say to you. Those words, I love you, that were never spoken, or just really wanting to, again, kind of mend the fences with you, to kind of smooth things out between the two of you, to let you know that they are choosing the path of love as opposed to the path of fear that they may have gone down in the past. With this Three of Cups as well, if this was almost somebody that maybe made a decision to move in another direction, in the direction of a third party, maybe returning to a former relationship, or somebody who might have been in the process of getting a divorce, or was separated and then made a choice to kind of return back to that spouse. This can really talk about somebody who's had a change of heart in that sense, who's not been able to fit very neatly back into that package of whatever that life was that they had kind of outgrown, or even through kind of meeting you spark them into that awareness of a change within themselves, a perception of themselves as somebody who has kind of outgrown what might have been very comfortable and might have fit very well with a version of them. This is somebody who's kind of stepped out of that, has kind of evolved in some way, and maybe that relationship wasn't able to evolve in the same way this person was. Two people who have kind of grown apart, or this person has kind of grown beyond this idea of sticking with somebody that doesn't necessarily fulfill them at the soul level, that it might be very comfortable, it might be very well known, it might be something that they've been with this person for a long time. There's a sense of obligation and duty and loyalty, someone who might have kind of returned for the kids even, just to kind of try to keep that situation intact, or try to repair that in some way. But it feels that it was almost a broken cup that couldn't hold water properly after that point in time, that something had really been fractured in that situation. This person had broken free from the version of themselves that fit very neatly into that package, and there was almost no putting it back together again. And so now a choice has been made, where maybe the choice of fear was to try and hold something that was falling apart together, almost past the expiration date. There's a choice now that has been made to kind of move beyond that, to allow that situation to kind of fall away organically, to move in the direction of kind of their own soul satisfaction on what's calling them, on the vibration that they are increasingly occupying, kind of with this energy of awakening and Kundalini energy. It's almost outside of their control, the changes that are happening, and it's becoming more and more apparent how incompatible they are with a situation that at one point in time might have been kind of comfortable or familiar to them. They also say, I never knew what love was until I met you. So that confirmation there of this very mature energy, something that's sparked within them, this greater understanding and awareness of the potential of connection between two people. That's now that this has been awakened within them, there's no turning that off. They almost can't go back into the life they were living before. They may have tried, but it's an ill fit at this point in time. Or somebody that had hesitated or had kind of this missed opportunity with making a declaration of their feelings for you. It's becoming increasingly more difficult to kind of keep silent about that, to stay in that observer mode. There's really this urge to kind of take a chance to move forward with that Knight of Pentacles. to offer something stable and solid and of worth, as opposed to empty promises or, you know, kind of this wishy-washy energy they might have been in before. This is somebody who's kind of stepped into more certainty and is kind of evolving beyond, again, any of those feelings of inadequacy. Someone who's feeling very empowered by the sensations you have activated within them and kind of how they feel in your presence, seeing themselves through your eyes, starting to really embody and embrace that kind of view of them that you have at kind of the height of their power, the height of their potential and capability, that they may have really doubted that before. It might have been very contrary to how they view themselves or how other people have really viewed them. But it's something that, you know, they're starting to really recognize that lives within them, that this is not just wishful thinking on your part. Somebody who's starting to really embrace that aspect of themselves and bring that forth from kind of the more subconscious realms or the realms of possibility out into reality and actuality. And they say, you really have been by my side. I see that. I do cherish you for that. So again, any kind of encouragement that you may have given this person, that believing in their dreams, believing in them, seeing a side of them, a version of them that they had a very difficult time seeing and believing about themselves. They're recognizing you as almost their biggest cheerleader, as somebody who really has had their best interest at heart. And they may have chosen to kind of move in a direction of something that was safe and familiar. But there's a sense that that situation was just, it's almost the idea of like a fair weather friend. It's somebody or a circumstance, even if this isn't another romantic partner, just a lifestyle in general that had come to expect a certain, level of behavior or energy or output from this person. And really as the evolutions were starting to take place, as the changes were starting to take place, as this person's really starting to question their place in life and starting to grow and evolve, these other circumstances or situations may have been very kind of resentful of that, kind of showing their true colors, showing their true face, that they didn't really have this person's best interests at heart or in mind, but it was more just a matter of convenience, a matter of predictability, somebody who maybe was surrounded by a lot of people that kind of could have been sort of opportunistic, only wanted them for what they could provide or what they could give as opposed to who they are as a person. And they're starting to really differentiate that. Almost the fact that you've just accepted them for who they are very unconditionally. You've loved them very unconditionally, something that they're very unaccustomed to. But they're starting to really place a larger value. They're starting to really recognize the greater value of that. They also say, I do think about the future, and when I do, I think about you in it. So more of that energy of wanting to circle back around to you, this healing journey, this journey of exploration, of needing to find themselves. All roads are leading back to you. They say, just know I am obsessed with you. So that ties in with that idea about thinking of the future, an observer, and that kind of Page of Swords energy, somebody who is really kind of planning and contemplating a fresh start, thinking about the past, somebody who's focusing very intently on the feelings that they have for you, which are deeply entrenched within them. Somebody who might be kind of, lurking in the shadows, very secretive about this, especially if this is someone who's still in your life. They're not showing you this. They're not revealing all of this. They could be stonewalling you to a certain degree, although there's a sense of the amount of time that they invest thinking about you kind of after hours or in the times when you're not necessarily together, or even kind of stolen glances that happen or little innuendos that they let sort of slip in your conversations. All of these things are clues to you that there's a lot more going on than this person is revealing. There's almost a very tangible and unspoken energy of pressure in this situation. Again, of all these feelings that have not been put to words, or some kind of a declaration or an apology, something that this person is really on the precipice of kind of bringing forth, someone who doesn't want to stay in that energy of kind of being removed, either kind of emotionally removed or literally removed on the sidelines of your life, but somebody who wants to come back towards you with some kind of offer of friendship, or wants to take the existing friendship and kind of step out of that skin, evolve to the next level of what's possible between you. And they also say, I really do miss you a lot. So if you're in separation with this person, they are thinking about you. They miss the times that you have shared together, the closeness, the conversations, the little inside jokes, just the little things about you that they, and it took the separation, it took the silence for them to start to appreciate these things, the sense of familiarity with you, this soul knowing, this soul recognition that they have for you. They're missing that, they're wanting that, they're feeling almost that contrast and the coldness or the lack, the void of that soul satisfaction and whatever they have around them now in their life. Maybe they have no one in their life, and this is someone who, just kind of moved away from this, didn't take the cup of love you had to offer, kind of rejected that, and chose to kind of remain single. Or if they had moved in another direction, perhaps that relationship has crumbled or is crumbling, is in the process of falling apart, of being shed from their reality. And in this process, they're definitely feeling that absence very acutely. There's a sense of whatever they tried to fill the space in their life, or kind of plug up this hole in their heart that existed when they parted ways with you, or, that kind of was generated when they failed to take a chance on making a declaration of how they were feeling or advance the connection to the next level. It's something that they really are thinking back on that, wishing they could have made a different decision, and very much motivated to make some kind of changed action in this situation, to no longer distract or to try and fill that void within them with kind of temporary things, or things that are not kind of these adequate substitutes, but there's a sense of wanting the real deal, wanting you, wanting that authentic kind of connection with you, as they had at one time, and even as they imagined could be, if this is somebody who hasn't yet made that declaration. So I'm going to get a romance angel for you, some advice about this connection. And we've got let go of control issues, allow the situation to unfold naturally. So you're definitely guided to allow this person to continue their progress towards you. There's a lot that's happened internally within them and is going on behind the scenes. They may have some things in their life, loose ends that they are needing to close up, tie up. Again, maybe other connections that they are in that are starting to dissolve, starting to fall apart and decay, that need to fall apart in order for this person to create some kind of space in their life, some kind of energetic space. Again, the tying up of loose ends in order to be able to provide you with all of them, with more of them than they were providing before, or more of them than they are capable of providing at this exact moment in time. There's some guidance here that wherever you find yourself in this situation, this pressure, this almost these unspoken words, this won't continue on forever. Change is happening. That pressure that is building and that is mounting, it is very necessary for almost this energy of kind of like the snake just kind of popping out, just kind of this person working their way out of an old sort of reality, that it's not so easy for them, even if these are just kind of ideas, maybe fears of inadequacy or fears of emotional intimacy. That they're needing to work beyond. It's a very gradual process of kind of working their way out of that. It's not so simple for them, or at least they don't believe it's so simple to just be able to burst forth. But there is sense of progress being made. This person is definitely sort of shifted their direction. Instead of moving away, moving in the direction of denial, there's been some kind of acceptance, some kind of observation, something they're admitting at least to themselves, which is a first step, a very powerful first step. It has shifted their vibration substantially and is kind of ricocheting out into their life. Others around them are feeling this. Connections and situations that aren't in resonance with who this person is evolving into almost are falling away of their own volition. People are starting to grow apart, or the things that once maybe were satisfactory to this person or fit very well, they're no longer a fit with these things. A lot of friction happening, a lot of change happening. And these changes are very necessary to this version of self that wants to emerge, that is capable of really standing in the truth and in the light of how they feel for you, is capable of making that declaration and standing by that, come what may. Somebody who, it's almost like kind of a seed that has really popped open from within this person. And now they are in the process of kind of that first and new sort of green shoot that's pushing its way out from the dirt. There's a process within this person and within their life that needs to take place. They need to be the one to take the lead in this situation. This is a lesson for them. This is part of their evolution, part of what they came into this lifetime to accomplish. And so the best thing you can do for them is allow them that time and space. Allow them to come to you. Keep your heart open. Continue to move in the direction of your own abundance, your own happiness, being open to what the universe will provide you, the people you will encounter. Not putting your life on hold, waiting for this person. And kind of the more you move forward, the more it motivates them to continue pushing, continue on this path of growth and expansion, so that the two of you, kind of in the time when this person is finally at that place of being able to, take that final step, take that leap of faith with the Fool energy, take that chance and reach out or move to you or say those words that are hanging so thickly in the air between the two of you, that's that very necessary step. It's part of this person's role in the situation at this point in time and at their life in general, to take that very bold step, to actively be the one to turn the page in this situation, to do what's necessary to move away from circumstances in their own life that don't resonate with who they are becoming, who they are evolving into, and to decisively and courageously move in the direction of their heart and of that version of themselves that they see reflected in your eyes. So I'm going to get some initials for you. This can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. We've got R, X, N, A, V, Z, E, B, P, M, C, T, Y, K, J, and W. So those are your messages, group 1. I hope they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. group 2, you chose the clear quartz, along with these cards, which I'll start with to get an idea about what are their hidden thoughts and secret feelings about you and the connection. Got Page of Swords, which is air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Six of Cups, which is water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. Nine of Pentacles, which is earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Nine of Wands, which is fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Grace. Celebration. Poised. Loyal heart. Lizard spirit, dream the world into being. And dolphin spirit, this and that are true. So with the Page of Swords, this person could definitely be watching you from afar, spying on you, spying on your social media, maybe making a point if they live in physical proximity to you, to kind of revisiting the places that the two of you used to go together, or trying to kind of run into you out in public. There's a desire with the Six of Cups for some kind of a reunion, some kind of a closeness, a reconciliation that is on their mind as well at this point in time. They may be doing some research on you, looking at your social media, Googling you, trying to see sort of what you're up to, what has changed in your situation. Are you single? Are you with anyone? Trying to kind of feel out or sort of do a little bit of detective work to try and find where your mind's at this point in time, where your heart's at. Trying to see again, are you single? Are you with someone? Any kind of clues that they can kind of decipher as far as if your heart is open to them. Do you still feel the same way? Are you dropping any little hints, any little innuendos, any little clues? They themselves might be doing this, dropping little hints, little innuendos, little clues, hoping that you will sort of see these things, that you will recognize these things and understand that although with the Nine of Wands and kind of that wounded warrior energy, that no matter what has happened between you in the past, however difficult the ending between you might have been, whatever words were spoken, feelings that were hurt, if this person, was very kind of cutting with their words or maybe was very hurt by something that perhaps you did. This could have been very mutual, where the two of you really had kind of an equal role in sort of this dissolving of this connection. It definitely takes two to tango. And so this might have been a case here with these two owls on this loyal heart. Some kind of an explosive fight, very cutting words exchanged back and forth, hurt feelings on both ends. And this person really, time having healed a lot of those wounds, or almost that maybe anger or resentment or bitterness having kind of dissipated from them. This could have been somebody also who in the past maybe saw something or heard about something that really made them question your loyalty. They could have really jumped to conclusions. It could have really triggered something, some kind of wound in the past. Maybe this person had been cheated on in the past and they saw you with somebody or saw something that was posted on social media, not in like a controlling and obsessive way, but something that was really just kind of an honest mistake or an innocent sort of mistake that this person was, again, very much kind of triggered by that and just sort of shut off to this connection, shut off to the idea of this or participating in this more, might have just kind of cut things off very abruptly or sort of ghosted you, left you with no kind of explanation. But there's there's a sense of that kind of energy having eased or dissipated. They're no longer angry anymore. They're no longer confused anymore. They've gotten some kind of clarity. They're seeing things from a fresh kind of stance with fresh eyes. They're feeling very, bad about that as well, almost recognizing that they handled things very immaturely. Instead of talking things out or taking a rational approach, they may have just definitely reacted or overreacted to something. With this energy here of Nine of Pentacles, this independent, this very solid and stable energy and grace and poised, they're seeing you as in this very wondrous and luminous light. Maybe this is something that they are observing about you, some kind of a glow up that you have had. That this idea of dream the world into being, you may have really created some profound changes for yourself in the time since they were last dealing with you. You may have undergone some kind of profound transformation in all ways, emotionally, spiritually, psychically, psychologically, physically, just your whole world having changed, your whole outlook, the whole aura that you emanate having really changed in a very beautiful and a very positive way. And this person is recognizing this. It almost feels that they are very silently applauding you for the abundance you've created, or the ways in which you really have turned your life around, or you really have reached for your dreams or accomplished some of that. They see you moving through the world in your most natural energy, in an energy of confidence, in an energy of certainty. There may have been some codependency that was kind of an issue before, and they really see you as somebody who has evolved beyond that. You've really stepped into your own. You've really taken back your power in a lot of ways from the situation with them, and also that they're seeing in other areas of your life where things might have been compromised. This might have been some inner child wounding that you had really have been working to heal, and they're very much celebrating that. They're celebrating this victory that you have had, whether this is something you're public with or something they are just able to perceive and recognize this change and this shift within you. Somebody who is really if they're maintaining this stance of kind of silence and of separation, and they're not approaching you at this point in time, there's still something that needs to heal within them. There's a sense now almost with this kind of elevation and evolution, or that they're at least seeing you with these new, from this fresh stance and these new eyes. There's almost a feeling of wondering if now they're good enough. Are they what you want? If they were to come back around, are you two a vibrational match, or have you almost evolved beyond them? So with this idea of this and that are true, they both feel very compelled in your direction, and at the same time very acutely aware of their own kind of inadequacies, some of their shadows. They're starting to question how they have made use of this time apart. Clearly you have been investing in yourself in some way, in some manner, being very, sitting in those emotions, working on healing those things, working on kind of making the most of this situation, or making the most of your life in general. And this time apart from this person, and it's causing them to reflect on how they have been using that time. What have they been doing, while kind of their resentment or their feelings about the situation, their ideas about it may have changed or softened. There's a sense of them almost feeling that they could have made better use of this time, kind of questioning and feeling that there was maybe some other kind of lesson that they were meant to learn out of this situation that they haven't. Recognizing and almost feeling that there now is this distance and this gap that has to do with more than time and space. It's to do with kind of personal transformation. And it's a motivation for this person to kind of pick up the pace, or to, really invigorate their own life. They're looking to you as this kind of example, this inspiration of changes you've made, ways in which you have overcome things. And it's really encouraging them to do the same, to really commit to that, to kind of work with what they have in front of them, the tools they have in front of them, the wounds that, have been brought to the surface, or that are really being instigated by what they are seeing. Almost a little bit of kind of maybe jealousy that they are experiencing, because you work so hard and things are going so well for you, and then they're forced to kind of look and see sort of where they're missing the mark, where they've kind of fallen behind, or need to kind of work and improve. And so while it's jealousy, it's almost kind of a healthy competition, though. It's not any kind of bitterness or resentment that they're exuding towards you, but that they're very matter of fact about that. Again, this idea of they could have made better use of this time, kind of jealous of the fact that somehow you got the message, you kind of figured it out, sort of a very constructive way to handle this situation, and they were, occupied with whatever else they were doing, whatever other lessons, or, carving and paving their own path to this point in time in different ways. With this idea of Page of Swords and this dolphin here, there can be a lot of telepathy that's going on right now. This person is they're sending you loving thoughts. You may be feeling them energetically, or, just their face pops into your mind, or you might be even like, sensing their energy, sort of encouraging you, cheering you on, sensing them almost within your vibrational field once again. They may be coming to you a lot in dreams as well, kind of astral projecting towards you, coming to you in a very loving energy, trying to kind of heal some of these wounds that the two of you have either inflicted upon each other, that you've sustained, kind of emotional wounds that you've sustained at at their expense, or through whatever happened in this circumstance. That they're trying to really sort of soften that. They're trying to really again work with what they have, do what they can to at least sort of take these preemptive steps to reach out to you in that energetic sense, to convey that kind of apology to you, to express that sort of regret, and also that congratulatory energy for the changes that you have made in your life, the glow up that you have gone through. While they might not feel necessarily courageous enough or prepared enough, feeling kind of immature and sort of a little bit inadequate compared to you in some way, they feel most comfortable kind of in that space of silence and sort of speaking without words, just sort of deliberately, consciously projecting energy in your direction. With this idea here also of these two owls on the loyal heart, this can be somebody who really recognizes you as almost the yin to their yang, this counterpart energy, somebody that they can really see themselves building a very solid and stable and satisfactory future in a lot of ways with, somebody where, you have remained in their heart no matter what was said or how much time has passed. There's always been love that they have had for you. And it's this love which has kept them connected to you energetically, made them almost aware. They've almost been there sort of cheering you on and sort of helping you from that higher self, from that energetic stance, while you were going through these struggles that might be quite contradictory to whatever they had displayed in the 3D sense. It might feel very confusing because of the nature of what happened, how they could be so supportive in the energetic sense and yet have given you quite a different impression in a 3D sense. So that ties in with the idea of this and that are true, both the 3D reality and what this person has displayed to you and is displaying currently, and that higher self, that energetic input that they are giving. Both of these things are a reality. This whole situation being almost this challenge or this opportunity to hold space within your heart and within your mind and within your life for both of those realities. The 3D reality is true, the higher self, the 5D reality is true. Both of these things are true. It's not a matter of either or. And that kind of expansion, kind of moving beyond these ideas of polarity where it's got to be this or that, into that stance of this and that. It's something that this person has really started to kind of embody and occupy, that, they're recognizing whatever their reactions were to you in the past, whatever this kind of situation was that sort of blew up in both of your faces in the past. They're recognizing that it stemmed from some kind of a wound or a shadow within them, some kind of something untapped that they hadn't necessarily dealt with yet. And they're honoring themselves for that. They're recognizing that, they're validating that. And at the same time, they are also, focusing on this deep and profound love that they have for you, which is motivation to kind of get in there, dig out those shadows, kind of work on some of these things, heal some of these things, purge out some of these wounds from their reality so that they can step into that space of empowerment that they see you in, that they view you in, observe you in, and are very proud that you have accomplished for yourself. So I'm going to get some messages from their higher self for you now, group 2, and see what do they want to say. Okay, and they say, I know I am blocking the connection. I'm just guarded. So that is that Nine of Wands energy right there, the wounded warrior, somebody who may be kind of battling their pride and ego at this point in time, somebody who knows that they overreacted or they treated you very unfairly, they misjudged you or the connection. A desire that they have to move back towards you, to build something out of this, to at least provide some kind of closure, perhaps in the form of an apology, or to, you know, move out of that realm of just fantasy and thinking about things, deliberating this into some kind of solid action. But they're holding themselves back almost. These wounds are kind of holding them at bay. They're almost in a fortress of fear. Some things they've avoided for a very long time, deeply entrenched things from childhood or early romantic relationships, patterns and habits within them they may have even not been aware that they had really been templated with from their, you know, their upbringing, or some kind of a lineage or some kind of cultural expectation. All of these things are needing to be dismantled, kind of brought down brick by brick, in order to be able to kind of step into that glow up, into that very poised and graceful energy, that very empowered energy that they see you in. And so they are really taking ownership in this sense for kind of the state that you find yourselves in now, that, you know, part of this this path and this opportunity that they have right now is to take personal responsibility. Somebody who may have been in a habit of blaming others, projecting blame, you know, looking everywhere except for in the mirror when it comes to solving problems or identifying root causes of things. And now that energy of observation has sort of turned around. The focus is now within. They also say, I was scared about how I felt about you. I've never felt this way before. You are special to me. So the intimacy, the possibility of forever with you, this deep compatibility, this yin to the yang, this mirroring energy might have been so intense for this person. A lot of things that they saw, both the potential and things they needed to work on, that they were not prepared to look at. Somebody who might have really avoided a lot of this internal work for quite some time. And the way in which they were confronted with that by you, in conjunction with this very profound and unconditional love that you had for them, is outside of this person's comfort zone. It's outside of what they were accustomed to in terms of the nature of the way two people can connect with one another, the way, you know, feeling very seen and almost vulnerable and exposed, the way you could perceive beyond the masks, beyond the shadows, and really see that golden core of this person, that very pure center, that greatest potential, that poised gracefulness that they hold within them, and to celebrate that, to encourage that, to urge that to come forth and to express itself more dominantly within this person. It's something that they definitely were unaccustomed to. A lot of people might have just, you know, really kind of made this person question their own lovability, reinforced some kind of wounds of the past, that they were flawed or fractured or broken as an individual, hard to deal with, hard to get along. Wounds that they had just accepted within themselves and kind of come to the belief that that pain was just going to continue with them through life, and it was just kind of a limp that they were going to have to walk with, in a sense. And the fact that you kind of saw beyond that, you saw beyond these broken pieces, or what they perceived to be broken pieces, and you saw that wholeness, you saw that potential, what they could grow toward, what they could become, what they could unearth from within themselves. It's very much outside of the realm of how people have usually seen them or treated them or talked to them, and it felt very enticing and at the same time very terrifying. They also say, I know that I've put you through a lot of pain. I am in pain too. I'm sorry. So that is that wounded warrior energy again, somebody who is starting to really look in the mirror, take responsibility for their actions. Even if this is just a turning point that has happened within, maybe a slow process of making amends, kind of repairing relationships from their past, a process of kind of picking up the pieces, salvaging their life, or reconstructing or reimagining their life in some way. Maybe a lot of other endings that have come, these woundings, this tendency maybe to lash out, and that having some kind of negative consequences in other ways. And this person in the process of kind of mending or repairing their life, they are cognizant, they recognize how unfairly they treated you, how harshly they treated you, how much unnecessary heartbreak they inflicted upon you. They feel that very acutely. It feels like you two have a deep empathic bond. The tears that you have cried, they have sensed that, they have felt that, they have been with you and by your side in that higher realm, from the higher self, even while the 3D self was kind of operating in denial or resistance. They also say, please don't leave me, stay. So this talks about that empathic bond, that perpetual bond between the both of you, a desire to correct this situation in the future, needing to fix some things within themselves before they feel that they are kind of at a place of being able to provide you with some kind of healing, as opposed to more kind of emotional damage than they have already inflicted, and a hope that it will not be too late when they reach that point of kind of moving beyond that kind of observer energy, or that kind of daydreaming energy, when they finally get that courage to kind of step out of the shadows and make themselves known. They also say, I'm so attracted to you, you don't know what you do to me. So they're very compelled in your direction. You've activated so much within this person, a new understanding of themselves, of the way love and connection could be, a whole plethora of feelings that they never might have experienced before, a depth of emotion they never knew was possible, or that they thought wasn't possible again, maybe after a series of heartbreaks or something, very substantial, a divorce or a substantial breakup where they almost had closed their heart off to love. You've awakened something within this person that is really outside of their comfort zone. It was not what they were looking for. It's very enticing for them, but at the same time, it brings up all of these wounds that need to be addressed and kind of dismantled first. And they also say, give me a chance. So this can allude to somebody who, again, is doing that work on themselves to kind of fix themselves, heal themselves, move beyond their shadows and their fears of being hurt in love again, wounds relating to maybe infidelity in their past that made them kind of overly jealous or overly guarded or skeptical about your intentions or the nature of a certain situation they heard about or saw, or something that they were really calling into question. Somebody who may have really self-sabotaged themselves as a tendency in their life, and also really did a number on this connection in that sense by just kind of jumping to conclusions and allowing their wounds to sort of direct the course of events. This is somebody who is trying to do this repair work within themselves, and again is really hoping that you will be open to them. You will at least open your heart and your mind to hear what they have to say, to allow them to express their sorrow and their regret, to maybe share with you kind of some of these root causes, not that it's an excuse for anything, but as an explanation so that you can understand kind of the level of self-awareness they have come to, and so that it gives you a greater perspective on sort of what got in the way of the harmony that the two of you might have experienced at one point in time, or had the potential to experience at one point in time. They also say, I'm really sensitive deep down, I just put up a front. So more of that energy of guardedness and barriers, somebody who might have a very hard exterior, kind of a hair trigger, is really, almost just looking for that other shoe to drop, because there's so much wounding that they hold inside of them. This is a deeply emotional person who maybe was shamed for those emotions as a child, or in other kind of romantic connections. And so they developed almost this very, kind of cutting, guarded, almost like a spiny exterior, where they were kind of expecting the worst, or, again, just self-sabotaging, pushing connections away, ruining connections before they themselves had a chance to really be hurt. And they also say, just wait on me. Please don't give up on me. So a double confirmation there of that energy of please don't leave, stay, and give me a chance. This person really working very hard to face some very difficult things within themselves, face some wounds within themselves, to come to some kind of personal truth. Somebody who doesn't want to kind of leave this situation in a stale energy. They don't want to continue through life with all the hurt that has been caused, the tears that have been shed. Somebody who wants to return to a tenderness with you, wants to reconcile with you, wants to start fresh with you, but from a more elevated and self-aware stance. Somebody who will continue to stay away from you, stay out of your life until they feel prepared enough to come to you in a more gentle energy, in an energy where they can be almost a healing force, as opposed to, again, causing more sort of pain and difficulty to you. But this is somebody that through this process of kind of healing and working on themselves, there is this almost goal. It feels like a secondary goal to this healing. It feels somebody who's really starting to do this work on themselves for themselves. Which is really the best recipe for success in matters of self-improvement. But kind of on the other side of that, the cherry on this cake is the idea and the understanding that, the more they heal themselves, the more they are able to then be a healing presence to you and to others in their life. So I'm going to get a romance angel, some guidance for you, group 2, about the situation. And we've got deception. Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. So this is another confirmation of that energy of guardedness. And whatever you really experienced with this person, it was a front, it was a mask, it was a ruse, something that really was hiding a deep emotional center, a tenderness, a woundedness, a deeply wounded inner child that they hold within them. The guidance here is, as difficult as it might be, to kind of take a step back from this situation and recognize that whatever has occurred in this circumstance, it didn't have anything to do with you personally. This person was really almost lashing out from a very, again, just unhealed, wounded space within themselves, allowing the time and space necessary for this person to keep their guard up, to keep their walls up, to trust that the work that they are doing behind those walls, behind those fortresses, behind the masks and the silence, behind what you are being shown or what is demonstrated or what is not being shown to you, trusting that whatever face they are projecting at this point in time or displaying out there in the world, that this is not the true reality of what they feel inside. What they feel inside is a deep tenderness for you. They've been very moved by this connection, moved and triggered in such a way that it has brought a lot to the surface within them. Avoidance can definitely be a coping mechanism for this person. So again, kind of that idea of them running really is an indicator of things that were really tapped into, both a profound nature of love and also these profound wounds within them. They need this time and space in order to sort of lick their wounds and heal themselves on a very individual level, on a very kind of quiet and private level, to make these changes within, that glow up from within, so then that's able to kind of burst forth. They can then take down that mask, step into that space of vulnerability, to step forward in with honesty, delivering some kind of truth or some kind of an apology, stepping forth with explanations, communicating with you in a more adult and mature manner than kind of the immature, childish tactics that they had taken on in the past. And so again, this idea of whatever you are being presented with, this isn't the true nature of what's going on. There's a lot more happening beneath the surface. There's a deeper amount of love than this person has let on. But to not put your life on hold while they are doing this internal work. Respect, with this idea of this and that are true. Respect that 3D. Respect the mask. Respect and honor as reality what is being presented to you. Also keeping in your heart that core truth and reality of what happens behind the mask, what happens beyond that, what is going on from the higher self of this person, and in some way to, cultivate peace for yourself with that understanding that both those polarities are true, so that you can untether yourself. You can take your power back from this situation, continue to move in the direction of your own abundance, your own healing, and your own happiness, open to what the universe has to provide to you, either in this person continuing to do this work and stepping forth in this more evolved energy to present you the apology that they need to, the explanation they need to, the openness of communication that is necessary to turn the page in this situation, or so that you can move forward with an open heart toward, love in a more reciprocal form and perhaps through a different person that the universe may have in store for you further down the line. So I'm going to get some initials for you now. This can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. We've got S, U, T, B, R, K, D, P, Y, Q, F, E, O, and J. So those are your messages, group 2. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 3. You chose the blue calcite along with these cards, which I will start with to get a feel for what are their hidden thoughts and secret feelings about you. Got the Two of Wands, which is fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Knight of Swords, which is air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Four of Wands, so more of that fire energy. The Sun, which is Leo. Wisdom. Shadow Self. Chaos and Conflict. A Leg Up. Eagle Spirit, Spirit Has Your Back. And Beaver Spirit, Lay a Solid Foundation. So this definitely feels like somebody who has seen the light of this connection with Shadow Self, Wisdom, and the Sun. Somebody who is recognizing you with the Four of Wands, that 1111 card, the twin flame card. They are recognizing you as their twin flame or their soulmate. If that terminology is not part of this person's lexicon, then they are recognizing this as a very deep, unique, and otherworldly connection. Something unlike anything they have known before, something that has a lot of spiritual implications to it, with this idea of spirit has your back. This is somebody who's seeing a lot of synchronicities, a lot of signs, somebody who has maybe taken some space from this connection to really sort through some conflicted feelings they have had within themselves. Feeling very stirred, very moved by this connection, very affected by this connection. Maybe somebody who has gone through some kind of powerful spiritual awakening, or some things that have really been activated within them in conjunction with coming into contact with your energy, either physically or even as you've been dealing with one another remotely. If this was like an online connection, for example, there's been an energy transfer nonetheless, which has kind of prompted or propelled them with that leg up on some kind of an ascension journey. A lot of tower moments within them, a lot that is needing to be really addressed in terms of some wounds that have been triggered, and also versions of themselves that they are in the process of shedding. Maybe ideas and beliefs about the nature of partnership and love, kind of what that would look like, how that would manifest for them, how things would kind of turn out. This could be a connection where, there are some pretty profound differences between the both of you, differences in culture, differences in age, differences in geography, maybe some circumstances as well that they've been really conflicted about. How would you fit into their life? What would people in their life think of this connection? It feeling very almost impulsive to them to move towards you, to open themselves up to this more, feeling very strongly for you, maybe after just having met you, or after just such a brief period of time, that they're very conflicted about that. This idea of their traditional ideas of love and partnership versus what they're feeling really compelled and called to do in this circumstance. With this lay the foundation, though, this is really talking about this person wanting to build a family with you, build something stable with you, move back in that direction of stability, to start fresh, to start building in a different direction than you had in the past. Maybe this was a connection where it was kind of just based off of like chemistry and attraction. This is somebody who now has a desire to, create that solid foundation of maybe reestablishing the friendship, working to rebuild that, or focusing on that more. Somebody who is starting to make some serious plans and preparations in their life as well for changes that they are being compelled to make, both in conjunction to this connection and outside of this connection, that just kind of relate to that idea of ascension, kind of transcending a version of self, kind of an old skin that they're shedding, things that are falling away, things that no longer resonate with them, and dreams that they want to cultivate, things that they want for themselves. With this Two of Wands, this can be a card of planning and waiting, somebody who might even be watching from a distance, maybe even with that little kind of globe or orb that he's holding, somebody who's kind of watching you online, somebody who might even be getting tarot readings on you, looking into divination, trying to kind of decipher and discern sort of what's going on with you, somebody who might have really looked into that in the past, or even still currently, in order to determine the nature of this, may have gotten some confirmations of this kind of twin flame or soulmate dynamic between the both of you, or is finding a lot of comfort in that, answers in that, in kind of a period of distance and separation you two might find yourselves in at this point in time. With the idea of Knight of Swords, this can talk about racing thoughts that they're having, thinking about you very frequently, a lot of telepathy going on, somebody who is also advancing very quickly from that place of feeling very overwhelmed by this connection, very kind of unsure of the nature of it, to kind of leaning more into that state of flow, trusting in this, being very empowered by the fact that this is otherworldly, embracing that, loving that this connection is outside the bounds of what they've known. It's different from what other people have experienced. The otherness of it is starting to really appeal to this person. This can also talk about somebody who is very aggressive in kind of working through these fears and these shadows, somebody who's being very proactive in kind of getting to the truth of the matter, the truth within themselves, why they have felt so compelled towards you, and at the same time have kind of allowed themselves to sort of run from this. Somebody who has really stopped and taken that solid look within, somebody who is in a process of trying to kind of find solutions, sort of cut through the weeds and the density, the thickets in their life in order to create some space for themselves, to create almost this area for the light of truth to come in. A fresh beginning between you to happen, or just some greater illumination and clarity about who they are now that something has been awakened within them, now that there's this greater perception of what is possible in love and connection, what that has kind of activated and led to in terms of their understanding of self as well, their relationship with spirit, their spiritual side, really advancing. Somebody who, may be practicing a lot of meditation as well. Someone who could even deliberately be, trying to telepathically communicate with you, astral project to you, connect with you in meditation. You could really be picking up on that and feeling this person energetically, feeling them very strongly at certain kind of points, especially it's almost feeling with this shadow self at night, dreaming about each other a lot, sensing their presence, kind of this idea of tandem growth that is happening between the both of you, the two of you really encouraging one another. The work one does helps to elevate the other. You're kind of supporting each other through this journey and process, and this person is becoming very consciously aware of that. This is someone who is consciously tapping into that, not somebody who is any longer just kind of being sort of carried along this river with, outside of their will, somebody who's participating in this. Somebody who's turned and fixed their gaze on kind of this wider world that has been revealed to them, a world within themselves and a world that is, possible and that is really being presented to them through this connection, through what has been sparked. Chaos and conflict can also talk about somebody who's going back and forth about making communication with you, somebody who kind of wants to move out of the twilight period of this connection and move back into the warmth and the joy that you once shared. Somebody who is again kind of cutting through illusions and coming into this space of truth. But there's a little bit of back and forth about, is the time right? A desire really to come back in a way that will create something substantial between the both of you. Somebody who might be doing a lot of maybe research, maybe looking into you again, kind of watching you online, for example, trying to divine or to tap in energetically to sort of feel where you're at. But somebody who's also in this process of kind of evolution and learning and growth about themselves, maybe about spiritual gifts that they possess, these psychic senses that they have, things that have really come online for them. Somebody who wants to really be able to provide you with some sort of an apology or a change in how you are experiencing them that is evidenced through change behavior, not just words of change or promises of change, but something really solid, something you can rely on, something that is definite, unrefutable proof that change has been affected within this person, that they have taken this very seriously. They are taking their own evolution, their own kind of ascension work very seriously. Somebody who's diligently been focusing on that shadow self, exploring these things, asking these questions, maybe reaching out for guidance, surrendering to kind of spirit, making contact with passed on loved ones, with their angels, with their spirit guides, just really asking for help, accepting the help that is given, taking note of kind of the signs and synchronicities and allowing themselves to kind of be navigated along this path to that growth, to that kind of stability of spirit, which as much as there's, things that are kind of falling away from their life or that they are recognizing now need to be sort of shed in order for this authenticity to kind of come out, with this idea here of this zebra who's wearing giraffe skin, but then the giraffe skin is almost melting away to reveal the zebra stripes. This is really talking about the authenticity of this person, a version of themselves that they may have hidden away for some time, maybe that they weren't even aware of, some version of them that is really activated or has come online after this spark, this this thing that has been ignited between the both of you energetically. Somebody who's allowing that process to unfold, who's leaning into that. A very excited energy here. Somebody who, is kind of moving beyond any sort of fear and resistance and is getting very proactive about this, is wanting to kind of build the momentum because they're seeing the joys, they're seeing the benefits of this, of kind of opening up to that spiritual self, of sort of reimagining the life they've been living. How this connection and what is happening for them kind of energetically and spiritually, this is enhancing them. This is giving them a boost, a leg up on the version of self and their perception of reality and the world and their life than they had been operating from previously. So somebody who wants to communicate this to you, somebody who, ties this very directly in with you, somebody who is not looking at this as just kind of random, but is very much recognizing on a conscious level something about the two of you colliding has really sparked and activated them in very profound ways, in very unexpected ways, and also very wonderful ways as well. So I'm going to get some messages from this person's higher self and see what do they want to tell you, group 3. Okay, and they say, I know I am blocking the connection, I'm just guarded. So again, kind of this energy of more that they need to learn or to investigate or to come to this place of something really solid to offer you. Somebody who might be kind of a novice with some of this, more of the spiritual aspects of themselves, who wants to learn more, move into that status of the adept. So this is not just changes that they plan on making or things that they've just implemented, but somebody who wants to come through to you with something very solid, very reliable, something that's very grounded and established within them, that is proof of this evolution, proof that they are taking this journey and this experience with you, this, this activation, this ascension journey, this twin flame experience, that they're taking that very seriously. This can also talk about this person being guarded because of all sort of the conflict and the chaos in their life, maybe other things that are needing to kind of fall away, that they're moving beyond, and a sense of not wanting to expose this connection to that, or that there's a lot happening, that they don't feel that they have the time and the resources, maybe that's physically, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, to even devote to, reestablishing things with you, knowing the velocity and the intensity of what occurs when you two are in direct contact with one another, needing to kind of reserve all their strength, put all their focus and attention on kind of busting out of this false self to allow that authenticity to shine, wanting that to happen, wanting to step into that best version of self, to unleash that best version of self before they step out of the shadows and towards you. Not wanting to come back and waste your time, but wanting to come back with something solid to offer you, with an offer that then leads to kind of that forever opportunity for the two of you. They also say, I am just healing. Please don't take it personal. So again, any kind of distance or silence, there's changes, there's a metamorphosis. This is almost the idea also of somebody kind of breaking out of this chrysalis. They've kind of moved beyond that place of, the caterpillar to the butterfly, and the caterpillar enters that chrysalis, enters that cocoon, and dissolves into this goopy kind of liquid sort of form that is it's not like the caterpillar. They are no longer the caterpillar, and then that liquid coagulates and develops into this this winged creature, this butterfly that is so unlike that original form. This person has already gone through that process of dissolving. They have become that mush. They have become and are continuing to become very unrecognizable in a lot of ways from the person you were dealing with before, but they're still in that process of kind of forming that new self, forming that new body, that new identity. And there's a sense of needing to allow these changes to continue to take place, for that process to complete within them in order to burst forth out of that cocoon, out of that shell, out of that guardedness, so that what you see, so that what they present themselves to you very solidly and reliably is not somebody in the midst of flux, in the midst of change, but that they have already stepped into and embodied that changed form. It is already a reality. They want to take flight with you. They recognize you in your butterfly form. That's something, you've leaned into this process. You've gone through your transformation, your dark night of the soul, your tower moments. You've had your glow up. You've stepped out into the light. You have worked through a lot of these things. You've released a lot within yourself and allowed that authenticity to shine. And this person is in that process as well. And just in the same way that a lot of this needed to take place for you very personally, maybe while in hermit mode, or, just with not a lot of people around, or not in the presence of this person, that distance being very necessary for the two of you to give that full focus, that full individual focus to your own kind of individual ascension and evolution. That's a very necessary stage, that separation stage, in order to kind of come back together, to come to that point of union in that almost elevated version. So then other experiences that you are meant to share together can be embarked upon in kind of that joint endeavor. But it is definitely preceded by that period, that very necessary period of kind of personal dismantling and kind of a reimagining of who you were prior to encountering a twin flame, or, a very deep soul connection, kind of stepping out of one life and into another. And they also say, I realized how I treated you and I'm sorry for that. So this person is really referencing being very overwhelmed by this connection, maybe the circumstances of it, things that on paper might have seemed very just illogical, or kind of they weren't sure how you would fit into their life. They might have, quite understandably, based on the very intense nature of this connection, kind of pushed this away. That again being part of that process of creating that distance for one another, so that you two could really go through that process of dissolving individually, coming to your own truth in a very personalized manner, a very personalized journey and process for both of you individually. And with that confronting of the shadow self that this person has done and is doing, comes that wisdom, comes that understanding of how they almost pushed away this very healing and electric and otherworldly love, that, what they may have been very frightened of is now they are recognizing it's everything they've ever wanted. It's more than they could have imagined, more than they could have dreamed was possible, in terms of connection with another person, romantic or otherwise. And so with that is kind of that deep sense of regret that is that motivation to continue to push forward through these transformations, to keep pushing forward back in the direction of love, to discontinue that running and become almost the pursuer now at this point in time. They also say, I want to make things right. I choose you. I choose us being together. So with that chaos and conflict, there is clarity that is coming with that Knight of Swords. Somebody who might not have known how to, really make this connection work, not really sure where you fit into their life, who they are becoming. There's clarity that is happening for them. A lot has really come to the surface, has become apparent, and there's a choice that has been made and is continuing to be made every day, and kind of step by step, very gradually and in great leaps and bounds, to continue with this work, this ascension work, continue leaning into that space of courage, in order to kind of move beyond that chrysalis that they are in order to emerge as that butterfly, with wings that are capable of kind of meeting you at that higher vibration, that elevation that you have worked so hard to come to in your own life. They also say, don't think because we don't talk, I don't want to, because I do. So this is somebody who's very excited to share with you what they have learned in the separation and the silence, what they have learned about themselves, about the nature of life and reality. There's an urge to move back in your direction, but again, they feel that there's still more that they need to learn and kind of do and understand. They need to, lay, and that's not in terms of, necessarily a questioning. It's more evolution that needs to take place. There's something more solid and stable and reliable that needs to kind of happen within this personal transformation before they are at a place of feeling that they have something of value, that is measurable, that is, concrete and stable, that is reliable to present to you. Again, that idea of kind of the telepathy and reaching out, astral projecting to you, contacting you in meditation. It's like this person is doing everything they can except for speaking directly to you at this point in time. A confirmation then of that, if you're sensing their energy, around you, you're dreaming about them a lot, they're coming to you a lot, in different kind of forms. You're really perceiving them. You're having the feeling that, their attention is focused on you, that they're trying in some way to, kind of get your attention, leave these little clues for you that are, speaking almost without coming out directly and speaking those words that can be that confirmation right there that that is what they are trying to do. They feel safest in the silence for whatever reason it's necessary. There are other things that need to fall away or need to grow out of their circumstances and what they've been working on within self before they feel that it's time to take that 3D step to, physically reaching out, speaking those words, creating that action towards you. And they also say it was you. It was always you. So they may have been in denial about this connection in the past, but they are no longer in denial. They see the light, they see the truth and the clarity that this connection far exceeds all other notions they have had or could have imagined about love. There's a sense of timelessness about this, a familiarity about you and this situation where they are starting to recognize the two of you have done this dance with one another before. This is not the first time of having encountered one another and activated one another and being that catalyst for change individually and together for one another. The more truth and clarity this person has, the more they learn about themselves, learn who they are, and kind of unearth that most authentic point of themselves, the more they are recognizing kind of that similarity, that both your light and shadow aspects complement each other. You truly are one another's counterparts. You are one another's perfect match. In many ways, in all ways, kind of your strengths and your deficits are very well matched with one another. And while on the outside, on the surface, the circumstances might seem a bit outside of the box or a bit unconventional, at the soul level, at the intangible level, and who you are as individuals, you are the best fit for each other out of anyone they've known before. And they also say, I've looked into tarot readings. So confirmation right there of what was coming up of somebody who might have turned to readings, gotten readings, or perhaps has discovered some skills of divination that they have that have been activated, that have been sparked. Maybe the two of you watch pick-a-card readings from the same readers even, to kind of get that information about each other while you're in the distance, while you're in the separation and the silence. Perhaps you yourself are a tarot reader and they are watching your readings just to kind of connect with you energetically. Maybe even get some kind of clues and messages, listening to your readings and taking that strongly to heart as far as things that they need to work on, or even just kind of the love that you exude through that, the messages of love that come through. They are taking that very personally. They are taking that as something, directed from you to them in kind of this more sort of subtle or kind of suggestive sort of way. And they also say, I've been having dreams of you. So confirmation there also that was coming through about, meeting with each other, astral projecting to you. Some very profound epiphanies that they've been having as well, and that they have had, maybe even dreams of past lives that the two of you have had with one another, that it's all starting to make sense for them. It's all starting to really click into place. They are also dreaming of a future with you, of kind of that opportunity to step out of the shadows, to take all of this desire and this knowledge, this knowing that they have in the depths of their soul, and to do something with that in a tangible way, in a 3D way, to take some kind of an action, to be brave, to move into the direction of the light of love, to leave the path of fear and hesitation and overwhelm behind, and to work toward a dream of forever, of laying some kind of a solid foundation, of really building towards something very meaningful in this lifetime. Somebody who may be dreaming of marriage or commitment with you, or dreaming of a future with the two of you really on the other side of all of these kind of changes and this difficulty and this period of kind of strain and separation that you've faced. Dreaming of the time when all of this will just be a distant memory and you can hold each other a little bit closer and with more gratitude for everything you've had to go through personally and together in order to kind of reach that place, that pinnacle of your connection. So I'm going to get a romance angel for you now. It's going to be some guidance from Spirit about the situation. And it says, this could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. So confirmation right there, if you're thinking about somebody in particular, and this, this is your counterpart, this is your person. This is somebody who is very well matched with you, very compatible with you. And this person has also come to this awareness, like they were saying, it was you, it was always you. As much as they might have run from this or tried to kind of stuff down or deny their feelings, they've reached this, this place of clarity within themselves. They're starting to recognize that everything they've been looking for and everything they've been wanting in a companion and a partner, it's within you. The best that they see in you is the best that exists within them. They're recognizing that their life feels more full and more enriched with you in it when the times are really good between the both of you, when you're really working in tandem and participating and kind of fighting through these fears side by side, working toward those common goals, working toward that light of love, kind of basking in the electricity that is created between the both of you, encouraging each other, really helping each other to kind of meet and exceed your personal goals and even obstacles that you have faced. This person is seeing you as a person that they would want to marry, that they would want to build a family with, that they would want to create some kind of stable foundation with. They see you in both your light and in your shadow, and they really admire you and love you and appreciate and respect you for all that you are, all of your facets. And they really feel in your presence. They feel seen and they feel accepted and, respected for who they are in all of theirs. So this is definitely an energy of two people who are still kind of individually in that process of kind of working through some things, this separation being very necessary. But this person having this idea and this certainty within them in the same way that you might, as much as you've moved on in your life, that kind of leaving that door open just a crack for them. And kind of the two of you holding on to that hope that, in the proper time and manner, your paths will align once again, that the work that you're doing can only serve to benefit the connection in the future. Should reconciliation happen, should the two of you be open to that, and should circumstances align and spirit really have your back, collude with you and kind of work alongside you to make that possible in the future. So I'm going to get some initials. This can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got X, G, I, O, N, M, J, W, L, D, R, C, T, U, and E. So those are your messages, group 3. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry, dreamcatchers, and suncatchers in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.